What's going on YouTube? It's Pelfrey, and this is the Red Sea Reefer 250. I did adjust the lights so that it's not so blue. And I got a little bit going on. You know, I'm a tinkerer. We know this. But I'm trying to make some changes to the system that will not only make my life easier, but I'm going on vacation soon. So I need to have some things in place while I go on vacation. But overall, the tank's doing great. I have not tested a single thing on the tank except for salinity. And I actually opened up the box of live Aquarius salt, and I've done one 5-gallon water change with that salt. I didn't test the parameters. You know what? I'm just doing water changes, and you know, it is what it is. I've heard that the live Aquarius salt is Fritz salt, and vice versa. And I was using Fritz Blue Bucket or Blue Box, but live Aquarius salt was on sale for like, I don't know, $34 shipped to me. So I got a box of it, and I will say that on 5 gallons, I used 4 half cups, and it mixed it to, I think that was like 1.026, and it mixed quick. I probably mixed it for 30, 45 minutes maximum, and then I did the water change. So luckily right now, with it being so hot outside and I keep my tank water in the garage, it's pretty warm. So in the wintertime, I'll have to heat that up. So we'll kind of see what happens there whenever it's mixed either in cold water and then brought up to temperature, or if I bring the water up to temperature and then add the salt to it. But well, like I said, overall the tank is doing great. And you know, I'd like to add some fish to it, and obviously some corals or whatever, but we'll just see how that progresses in the winter months. But so let's just jump right into it. I'm gonna start a voiceover right now. So if you're new to the channel, if you're not seeing the tank at all, or not for a while, I am only running chaeto morpha in the tank. I'm not even running a skimmer, and it's been like this for quite a few months. I took the Nios 120 out and sold it, and I bought some chaeto morpha from Battlecorals, and it has grown crazy. I've got rid of a couple 1-gallon bags, a couple here locally, and I've shipped some as well. But I decided I finally needed to take it out of the tank and clean the that chamber out there, with just a ton of filth on the ground of the sump there. And you know, this is a Triton style sump, so I can't filter the water directly from the tank that goes into the Fuge, but I do have a filter tray that I use from the Fuge to the skimmer section that was made by Aquatics, so I can filter the water out some via some mechanical filtration. But this Fuge chamber is always going to be the worst of the worst, just because this is where the tank water comes and it'll settle out there. So I did a 5-gallon water change from the Fuge area while I stirred everything up, and then I added the 5 gallons back into the Fuge section, so that the water was topped off and I was good to go on my water change. This was the first water change with the live Aquarius salt. And for those interested or wondering, I do run a CCHA 1.0 in the Fuge area at all times. Now that the Fuge has been cleaned out, shouldn't have to touch it for another 6 months or so. Let's move on to the next step. So if you've been following me for a while, this is the Kamoer single head Wi-Fi dosing pump. And I love the pump. I love everything about the pump. Except, there's always an exception. The tubing is so small. You know, it's so small. I have a bulkhead and I can't even use it there, and it barely snaps in to the bulkheads on my sump. I mean, it actually doesn't, but it just fits in there. So I've actually got to drop it in there and zip tie it to the roadie tubing, so that I can dose kalkwasser in my tank. So I was surfing the internet and I was trying to come up with a way to make this accept a bigger dosing tube. So follow me real quick. Let me turn that light off. Get you on the floor. This is kind of what I come up with. Of course, I went ahead and ordered some silicone because I'm out. So I got some airline tubing or dosing tubing, and this is 1/8 inch inside diameter, This is just the cheap stuff, or some of the cheaper stuff they had on bulk reef supply. Then I found this threaded fitting here with the nipple on it, so this should fit into the Kamoer doser. And then I found this threaded fitting here that will screw into this piece, and then the dosing tubing should snap into it. So I'm gonna put you on the tripod real quick, and let's just put this together real quick and see what this looks like. So first things first, thread the nipple here in. I don't even know if you even need to use tape or anything. I'm not going to. I'm going to try to just snug it down real good. And let's see if this, perfect. So it doesn't look the best, but it's going to function the way that I need it to with tubing that's going to be easier for me to swap out. Took the dosing head off the pump, which is probably what I should have done to begin with, but you can see that this tubing is substantially bigger, and this should slide into the tubing there. I'm about to find out. So come to find out again, this is way bigger than I thought it was going to be. So I'm going to actually super glue it to this because I've already cut off this tubing. So lesson learned on that part, but I am going to try to still figure out how to utilize this section here so that I can easily easily swap hose. The super glue worked flawlessly. I just ran the pump, and I'm going to end up cutting some of the tubing off a little bit shorter because I just wanted to see if it was going to work, and worked perfectly. So now it's an easy connect and an easy connect in my jug, and unfortunately I had to super glue it on these nipples there, but I'm still going to try to come up with a solution so that I can change the tubing out, because the Kalk wasser gets pretty filthy. You can see this right here. I need to pull it out, and I need to soak it in some vinegar, and soaking it in vinegar will get all the Kalk wasser residue out of it and clean it up again. See, you can see it's pretty filthy. You know, you can still see through it, but I like to keep it clean. And while we're down here, I've got the Eheim auto feeder set up and tested it, and it's perfect. So I love it. I'm now gonna auto feed twice into the return chamber, which will get shot up into the main display. I loved having the AFS in the sump area, and obviously I had to get rid of the AFS whenever I sold the Apex. So I'm very excited to have the auto feeder back in the sump section. And look at this mushroom here. It's attached to a dead skeleton of a bird's nest. So yeah, I'm definitely excited to have the auto feeder back on the tank. It's gonna feed twice a day, and I'll still have the ability to feed the tank in the evening so that I can see the fish eat. But I love, excuse me, I burped there, but I love having the auto feeder on the tank. And it's definitely gonna help out while I'm on vacation. And I do have an assortment of food in the auto feeder. It's like 3 or 4 different types of pellets that I've accumulated over the last couple of years or months or whatever. But I do use quite a bit of the Reef Nutrition pellet food, and I do love it, and I have a ton of it in the refrigerator in the garage. So, you know, I'm definitely, I love the automated side of things, and this tank is a lot more simple than it used to be. But there's just some things that I'm never gonna probably get away with. And I love having the Kalk wasser on the tank, and you can see that brittle star or asterina star back there just munching away at the coralline algae. So yeah, I'm very thrilled and happy with the direction that I'm going. I'm gonna cut it off here, folks. As always, I do appreciate you watching and following along on my adventure. Be sure to check out the website at pelfrey.net. Check out the Instagram at Pelfrey's Reef. And I'll catch you all on the next one.